In this video, we will show you how to replace your driver's side outer tie rod end on this Dodge Ram. This is part of your steering and it's located under your vehicle. Let's get into it. Okay friends, let's get started on our job. The first thing you want to do is safely raise and support the front of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Once you've done that, if you have a center cover, go ahead and remove that now. We'll use a pry bar. Make our way right into one of these grooves and pop it out of place. Set it aside. Use a 24mm socket to remove all 8 of your lug nuts, and then we'll remove the wheel. With the wheel out of the way, we have a nice clear view of our driver's side outer tie rod end. Now, when you're replacing these, typically you would replace the outer tie rod end, the sleeve, and then the inboard tie rod end that makes its way all the way over towards the passenger side. If you're only replacing the outer tie rod end, we'll be making our way right down here to this nut. Use a 15mm. We'll loosen this clamp. Now our mounting bolt broke. If that's the case, you can either replace the entire sleeve or just get yourself a brand new grade 8 bolt with a mounting nut. The next thing we'll do is use a pry bar. I'm going to try to spread the 2 ears that are on this clamp. This is the rounded side, but on the rearward side, you'll have 2 ears. Just make my way in there. We don't need to go very far. We just want to make it so this can move fairly easily. You can see those 2 ears now. Spin this. On this mounting sleeve, you're going to have a slot that makes its way all the way down from where the tie rod end is all the way over to the other side. It's always a good idea to apply some penetrant in this area because it's common for moisture and debris to make its way in there and of course cause some rust. Once we've done that, we'll make our way up along the top of the steering knuckle where the tie rod end stud comes up and through. You'll find that you have a 21mm nut. We'll remove that. A quick inspection on it. Start it back on there just a couple threads. At this point, we'll continue on with a hammer and we'll give this a couple loving bonks to try to break it free. If you have a pickle fork, you can use that and come right in between this joint to do so. Now we can remove that nut and remove the tie rod end from the steering knuckle. At this point, we'll continue on unscrewing the outer tie rod end by turning this counterclockwise until it comes all the way out. While doing so, you want to count the amount of turns it takes to remove it, so pay attention to the stud. As this comes all the way around and lands back up at the top, that'll be 1 full turn, 2 full turns, and so on. When we go to install the brand new tie rod, you want to make sure that you install it the same amount of threads. For this, you can use a tie rod tool or just some long pliers. It's common for this to be rusted in place in the sleeve. If that's the case, you could try to apply a little bit of heat along this area, or of course, replace the sleeve. There we are. I got 35 turns. Yours may differ. Now that we have the original outer tie rod out of here, we'll continue on with inspecting the threaded hole. Assuming that sleeve looks good, continue with some anti-seize. And now we can install our outer tie rod end. We'll take this and slide it into position. Carefully start turning this clockwise to align the threads and continue turning it the same amount of threads as it took to remove the original. As I said on my application, it was 35 turns. Your results may have differed. Now we can take that outer tie rod end and we'll slide it into the knuckle, start on that brand new nut, and then we can bottom it out and torque it to 80 foot-pounds. After you've torqued that, we'll make our way down here. You want to make sure that you tighten the clamp on the adjustment sleeve. But before you tighten that, I want you to pay attention to where that slot is located. Sometimes the slot will be along the top or even along the side or bottom. But what matters about that is you want to make sure that one of the smooth parts of the clamp is aligned with that and not the gapped area. You don't want the gap aligned with the slot on the alignment sleeve. Take my bolt. Try to have these facing the same direction. You want to make sure you tighten this jam nut to 45 foot-pounds. After you're sure you torqued everything along the way, let's continue on to reinstalling the wheel. We'll start on all of our lug nuts, bottom them out, get the wheel safely back on the ground, then we can torque each one of these to 135 foot-pounds. With the wheel safely on the ground, we'll be torquing these in a crisscross manner. Torqued. If you had a center cover, go ahead and install that now. Looking along the back side, you'll find that you have 4 ports for your 4 lug nuts here. Let's get this aligned, drive it into place. Okay friends, we showed you how to install your left side outer tie rod end. At this point, you want to get yourself safely down to your local alignment shop. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.